Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome out to another RGL.GG Invite Sixes cast. The moment is finally here. The regular season has come and gone, and playoffs are upon us. Tonight's matchup, the number 1 versus number 4 seed. It's Froyotech taking on MyAnimeList after dark. My name's Godfather. I'm joined by Jarrett on the mic, Dolphin behind the scenes. Jarrett, how you doing?
Pretty good. And like you said, this one's or at least this series is gonna be for all the marbles when it comes to, getting into that nice grand finals spot potentially, or at least contesting there, or maybe getting sent down to the lower bracket and having to fight for your life to make sure you can stay in this competition for just a little bit longer. Last time we saw these two teams, it was quite the match. It was a Gully Wasp match that went all the way 5-4, if I recall correctly, which only leads to you having even more anticipation of what's going to happen this time around.
Yeah, definitely an interesting matchup to see in this best of 3 map series. Our maps will be Koth Product, Koth Bagel, and CP Sunshine in that order. Do you want to run down the pick ban situation for us?
Well, as it's I mean, this is normally a playoffs only thing ages ago, but now, it's if you're an invite and you kind of just pick ban every map. But it seems like right off the bat, we had a Gully Wash ban coming in from Froyo and a clear cut ban following by Trip on Mal. So those two maps out of the pool off the bat. We had Froyotech immediately picking product, followed by a bagel pick coming out of Mal with only one map left to go. The maps continue to go down the list until it was Sunshine remaining in the pool, which will be the tiebreaker map if it is needed.
Yeah, we'll see if we get there. And now taking a look at rosters here, it sounds like Mal might be bringing in a ringer for them tonight. Sin Karma is in the server in pregame. We'll have to see if he stays there. But do you want to run down the roster for Froyotech here tonight?
The roster for Froyotech is Eric and Sumnish, Blaze and Banny, and Habib and Skis on Scout, Soldier, Demo, and Medic in that order, as you can see on the screen.
And for the side of MyAnimeList, after dark, we have Alpha and Kev on the scouts. Trip and Glimmer are your soldiers. Sin Karma ringing on demo tonight, and Azen is the medic. So a bit of a switch up here with the demo man. We'll have to see how well he's able to do, but Sin has had a fairly good season in terms of ringing, so I'm excited to see what he's able to do here tonight.
Yeah, he's ready for a couple of different teams at this point, and I think he's adding another one onto the list tonight. I think Sai is the one that's going to be missing. I think according to Alpha, he hasn't been around lately, so they're just going ahead and go with someone who was able to, maybe show up for scrims or something like that. So once again, Sin Karma in the server up against Froyotech this time to see if he can take them down.
Yeah, it'll be on him to be putting out some good damage, but let's look at some of these previous matchups. We have seen Froyotech take on Mal early in the season on product, and it was a 4-0 in favor of Froyotech. And then you've already mentioned the March 15th, very close matchup between Froyotech and MyAnimeList going 5-4 on Gully Wash. So, Mal looking a little bit better on the 5CP and looking a lot better later on in the season. Do you think they have a decent shot here on product?
Well, I mean, if this isn't necessarily their pick, I'm assuming they have an opportunity to learn from previous mistakes if they've already played this map before versus Froyo in the regular season. Albeit, I think it was with a slightly different roster, but Froyo obviously have some sort of confidence in what they are going to, put out onto the table when it comes to repeating their regular season performance. But you can't completely count out Mal despite the showing previously that wasn't able to net them very many rounds at least. uh they have an opportunity to learn from their mistakes if they, think back of what went wrong all those weeks ago, maybe download the demo and spend some time trying to figure out what they want to change this time around. We do have a word though that is not Sai that hasn't been here, it's Kev. I think the alpha statement is true, it's just wrong player. So Sai is in the server. I think he's going to be playing Scout instead of Demoman. Sin is just the ringer at hand, so moving Sai over to Scout is the play. I don't think he likes Viaduct that much anyway, so I guess for their team, the swap makes sense.
Yeah, this is probably not the best situation though for Mal having to swap a class or your demo off his main class and bring in a ringer. So looks like we are opening up match predictions right now. So make sure you get those in as well as your channel point predictions, which are going to close fairly soon. So you got to get those in as fast as possible as well. But do you want to look at any specific matchups here for this first map in terms of players doing well?
I mean, it's Viaduct, so really it's going to be mostly on the demos and scouts, I think. The scout matchup is very huge to make sure you can clean up kills for your team and keep things in your favor throughout the fight. You don't want to necessarily die in a really bad moment, and a scout, it's going to be the thing that probably cleans you up if you are dying in a lot of scenarios. And, to get that low to be cleaned up, it's usually demos that are doing a huge portion of the damage and making everyone on the other team really soft and weak. So those kills can actually be gotten. So probably looking at the demo matchup between the both teams, especially not only in that regard, but that's kind of where the class swap is happening. Sai moving over to scout and Sin Karma coming in as a demo ringer. I'm sure that Sin is happy that he gets to ring, and I'm sure Sai is happy to not be playing demo on Viaduct, but it's still not necessarily their starting roster that they've practiced with throughout the entire season. So the matchups between them and their counterparts of Slumnish and Eric, and then Habib on demo for Froyotech is gonna be interesting to see, to say the least.
Absolutely. I'm going to be watching out for Trip. I want to see Trip making some really nice plays here on Roamer and really making life hell for Skis as Froyotech tries to take this first map cleanly and get through with this and really set the pace for the night. But I think if Trip is able to really make a presence, as well as the flank as a whole for the side of MyAnimeList, if they're able to get in there, really be a nuisance, take some space, take ground and whatnot, I think Mal will have a much better shot here tonight.
It's very true. You can't definitely count out the soldiers, like you said. Trip is usually the initiator, I would say, for a large portion of MyAnimeList's fights. Not all the time, and maybe Viaduct will be, slightly different. But if you kind of need Trip to be able to do what a roamer's job is for their team to find success a lot of the time. So it's definitely very valid to have a lot of eyes on him when it comes to are Mal going to be able to hit the mark. I think I trust the rest of their team to kind of follow up, at least especially Glimmer. We haven't mentioned him too much despite him being a very big portion, as well as Alpha. And I would say at this point they're kind of like their star players, Mal. Alpha and Glimmer, we haven't really touched on them yet. They're definitely going to be able to play their part in Viaduct, but I don't think I'm too worried about them being able to perform. I feel like they should have an alright time performing, win or loss, although it is Soldier on Viaduct, which can be tough sometimes, so I guess we'll have to keep some extra eyes on Glimmer. But Froyotech, #1 seed. It's going to be difficult to take them down. Not necessarily impossible. They've shown that they can get close in the past, but this is not the map where that happened on, so...
Well, it looks like we have both teams readying up here on this first night of playoffs. Do you have a last-minute prediction here before we get into it?
I'll throw like a 4-1 in Froyo's favor.
I'm feeling the same way about this first mid. As we get right into it, I'm going to be watching the side of Froyotech, see what they're trying to do as we get into this fight. Habib's just going to be exchanging a little bit of spam. Here comes Panic going for a very early bomb, trying to get in behind. He hits one round on into Aizen, but no one can follow up right now. Can Benny? He keeps getting in behind. He picks up the demo. 3 actually down right now. Now 4 for the side of Mal. This is collapsing very fast. Can anyone chase down Aizen? Doesn't look like it. Eric is going deep right now, though, and he will pick up the kill, and that's a full team wipe, including the medic. Skis did die on the other side of things, but a resounding mid-fight win there for the side of Froyotech.
Yeah, the Froy Soldiers initiated right off the bat, and Blaze especially had a really nice mid where he landed in a spot where it was really difficult to clean him up, yet he was still able to output tons and tons of damage. So that pressure, that pinching that they created in between the house and the rock really set things for them to be able to win the mid. They did lose Skis, so Mal do have an opportunity to try to dry fight here without necessarily having anything go their way in terms of sack waves. You're gonna see a bomb actually come in from Trip trying to make some spaces. It's gonna be it seems like never mind. I keep going back like, oh, I need to look over here, and then on the other side of the map people are just falling left and right. So Aizen dying. I didn't even see that. I was over looking at the flank, and that's gonna cut things very, very quickly. Like before the fight even started, it felt like it was over. So Medic dead, Skis at 50%, don't have full Uber quite yet, so still going to be a little bit before they're able to have that Uber to keep them safe and sound, but it seems like Alpha on Sniper is going to be the play, at least for now.
Yeah, but they're going to lose Glimmer early on here, which is definitely going to slow down the push back onto point. Here comes a bit of aggression from the Red Soldiers, jumping all the way behind, trying to get deep. Can anyone find that kill? No, they're just going to be rotating around. Aizen got a little bit weak, finds the pack. Skis now coming up on Uber. We'll see a bit of aggression from, I believe, Banny getting some high ground. Maybe it was Blaze. Blaze now on the flank, trying to do a trip. Here's the Uber coming in, trying to find Aizen. So far unsuccessful. They do get the demo down early on here. Alpha unable to find a pick early on here, and he'll back off and swap back to Scout, as now Mal Aizen and the side of Mal, are approaching this full Uber.
Yep, Aizen was able to live through that, so 90%, not too much longer till he has an Uber of his own. Have to be careful about the Froyo players that are around Cliff and China. They are being quite the nuisance and able to clean up Glimmer. He is not successful at shoving them backwards, and Banny only taking a little bit of damage. Uber will come out, though. It's a bit of a solo until Trip actually follows through and continues to chase down straight into them, immediately dying, though, chasing a little bit too deep. Definitely putting all your eggs in one basket to clean them up, and that's going to be 2 more deaths on top of that. Able to clean up Blaze, but with so many players on your team dying for this post-Uber, it's not really a post-Uber fight. There's just a little bit of spam. Glimmer trying to do some bombs to get an overzealous Eric, able to clean him up. Alpha is making sure that that kill is secured for their team. So 2 picks for Mal, despite the Uber not going too well, but Skis does have his Uber ready to go if Aizen gets a little bit too close.
Yeah, Aizen did die in on that, so we'll see if he's able to build anything up here, but the Uber's going to get popped out by the side of Froyotech. Good spam in. Glimmer's behind right now. Blaze will be the first to die in this. Can anyone pick up another kill? Glimmer will go down, as does Alpha, now cleaning up Psy as well. Is Slemish in on that Uber, so now they're just going to hold on to this point as Aizen and Sin will have to back out to the base of their cliff. Not looking good with 15 seconds left on the clock. Mao really has to do something. They're approaching 75% Uber, so it's going to be really tough to get it in the last moments here. They got to start getting aggressive. Here comes Trip. He's going to be jumping in, trying to make some space. Going to go onto Banny, not find a lot of damage onto him, if any. Now Banny trying to circle back in. Is anybody able to get on point? Here comes the Uber. It's going to be onto the demo primarily. Alpha's going to die, though, slowing things down, especially on the capping front. Looks like Froyotech's going to be happy to back out here a bit, taking a little bit of damage to Skis from Glimmer, but he'll go down now. On the flank is Trip, trying to live, being chased down by 3 right now. Getting behind will go down, as is Sin Karma. 3 down for the side of Mal. Now feeding into point is Psy. He'll go down as well. It looks like Froyotech's going to have this pretty cleanly, as they're going to lose Alpha late. Trading out for Benny, but no one is able to touch point. That will be round number 1 going to Froyotech. Very clean. 3 minutes left on the clock for them.
Yeah, that Uber was their last hope at getting any time on the board, but when you use your Uber in a situation where you're not actually trying to, use it into them, you're kind of just trying to edge cap a little bit. You don't have people ready to actually go in. It's going to lead to them losing the round, so going to have to see if they're able to get some time on the board after this second mid-fight.
Getting in very aggressive is Sin early on. He's going to be backing off. Trip is the first to die. Glimmer following suit. Blaze is taken out by Psy. Slam getting very low behind the rock right now. Oh, nice bomb on the flank from Banny. Will find Psy on the flank right outside of Connector, but 2 down for the side of Froyotech, but 3 for Mal. It will be a 1 mid-fight here from the side of Froyo.
Yeah, valiant effort trying to go for a flank play for your mid strategy, but not enough resources able to be collected from the other team, and expending too many of your own is going to be another cap going the way of Froyotech. Trip dying to some stickies, and it seems like Sin Karma might follow the same direction. Have to be careful. Blaze is dying on the backside, trying to go for a solo play over on the flank, but Glimmer's getting bombed on as well. Have to be careful about his health, getting chased down by the scouts. Immediately cleaned up by them, chased all the way down, and Habib laying down the pressure to finally clean up the Sin Karma kill. With so much damage early on, these blue players, they can't even barely get in. They've lost like 3 and only collected 1. They have the Uber ready to go. As soon as they collect their players, they could try to, get something going for them and actually approach this point. But you have to be careful and don't accidentally die to anything like previous times. Getting one across the point, Psy trying to get on a demo, put some extra pressure on Habib, doesn't get dropped. A little bit low though, trying to chase their way back, and it seems like Psy's going over to the flank immediately. No scout speed for Aizen, but doesn't need it. Able to collect the kill on Eric, so it's a good opening pick for them to use the player advantage to get some presence on the point. Sin starting to get on it, start spamming them back. Blaze not able to bomb in. Habib getting very aggressive, popping up the air. 7 HP is going to clean it by Alpha. Initiation coming in from Glimmer to make sure that it continues on, and oh, Slemish is not able to collect that frag. Clean up from Alpha coming in and making sure his soldier is nice and safe, and that is a retake, but for what? Down 1, almost down 2. Sin's 13 HP, and it's technically a win, but by very slim margins.
That bomb from Blaze, absolutely nasty. Comes in, gets right behind, picks up the first rocket, hits the second, gets the kill onto Aizen. No medic alive. 60% add for Skis on the side of Froyotech as they begin walking back onto point. And I keep seeing Benny up on this high ground. Habib's going to go very deep, actually going to halt his momentum right mid-air. But I've been seeing the high ground taken time and time again by Banny here, getting that spam angle and making it really hard for the side of Mal to approach forward. Now they're going to get ready. Glimmer's going to go for a bomb as is Trip. He's going to circle away. Banny will find the greater damage onto Glimmer. Now the Uber is popped out onto point, trying to find Aizen up in the air, and there's the kill. 3-4 go down for the side of Mal. Psy trying to duel on the flank, but so much pressure in, and he will go down, as does Alpha. That's essentially a team wipe. Glimmer coming up sniper here. We'll have to see if he's able to find something. 120 left on the clock. Not looking good for Mal on this second round.
I think Sai and Aizen lost track of each other there, and with Aizen not being able to have any scout speed, he just basically stood there and accepted his death. He knew it was coming even if he tried to leave, but dry fight coming in. They're trying to work their way up the slope, but trying to apply some pressure. Are the soldiers up on the highest point that they can? Blaze beginning to jump behind and apply some pressure, but Alpha is on the chase, make sure he's backing up. A lot of damage on him, actually. The flank for Froyotech is very weak. Blaze is going to fall. Eric very, very weak. Has to make sure that he's staying alive, going ahead and going back for a pack. Glimmer falling behind and side pressuring as well onto the concrete is forced Froyo back really, really far. Able to collect the kill onto Eric, but not without dying for it. Trying to get this kill onto Slemnish, but Slemnish says, no, that is my frag. Alpha trying to make sure that he's able to clean up the frag, and he will, but Blaze is back. A nice rocket onto Alpha, and these trades, you know, they're kind of even, but realistic. Oh, that was a really nice rocket. It's a really even-ish trade, but when you own the point, you don't want to be trading. So now Froyotech have faster respawners for the second upcoming fight, immediately bombing onto Trip and making sure he is in no place to be able to hold on to this point. They just are barreling through.
Such aggression from the side of Froyotech. They're just steamrolling over, picking up Sin as well as Glimmer. Now the Uber's finally popped onto point. They'll find Habib early on. Can they get in onto this medic? Skis has, but is milking this so hard. Hasn't popped yet. Sai will go down. Aizen is out, but maybe getting chased down a bit, a little bit. Some pressure coming from the soldiers. Now Banny jumping in, getting one rocket in. Can Aizen stay alive? Looks like it. Time on the clock is ticking down. 45 seconds, full Uber to hold on to this as spawners will begin coming forward. We'll see a classic Froyotech forward hold coming in onto Cliff here. We'll have to see, now it's going to be coming out of choke. Is Alpha going to just walk very aggressive, but his heals are not with him. He'll go down early on. Blaze getting a bit weak, but holding down this choke very well so far. No one's able to get towards point right now. You have 25 seconds left on the clock to make something happen. Not looking good for Mal. They have this pyro up, trying to reflect some spam. He'll go down early with Sai on that off glass. Now a soldier up in the sky. It's Trip. He'll go down as well. No one's getting near point. Here comes a soldier. Finally, it's Glimmer. He gets taken out as well. No one can come forward. This Froyotech forward hold was so powerful, and that will likely do it. Here comes Alpha, trying to get forward. His med doesn't have Uber quite yet. Now it finally pops out, and we have some pressure onto point. It's just there. You can't drop players. The Uber finally pops out from Skis, trying to kick up these kills. So far successful, just feeding in onto point of the soldiers right now from the side of Mal. There's two alive as they try desperately to cap this out, and so far there's hope alive right now. Sai the only one there, and he'll go down. Not looking good in these final moments of the second round. I think Sin going for the jump, unsuccessful. Very valiant effort, I will say, from Mal, but that forward hold was just too much for them to deal with.
It's a rough situation to be in with that little time on the clock, and the other team has Uber and they're forward holding. It's pretty much a done deal at that point. At that point, you just really are thinking about what led you to this situation where literally all the cards are being held by the other team.
Looks like Banny's going to be readying up immediately, but we'll take a look at logs here. Top damage is Slem with 454, then Habib 423, Sai with 398, and Banny 364. A lot of damage from the side of Froyotech. We've seen it all map long so far in these first two rounds, just absolutely demolishing the side of Mal as they start to take space, just unable to overall due to all that damage.
Yeah, it makes things really rough. You talked about the early pressure and spam before. Like that combined with, you know, initiating in little holes in the other team's gameplay when it comes to their setup to approaching the point. So many fights from Mal, they couldn't even put in an effort to try to take the point back because of how much like spam was put onto them. But we are going live for a second half, so seems like didn't have to adjust too much. They know exactly what they need to fix and are getting ready to jump straight in to the next mid-fight.
We'll have to see what tricks they have up their sleeve, but here comes an early block for Banny. He'll get taken out by Alpha, who we went into. Oh no, Sin's gonna go down early as his side. Blaze trades out though, now Eric following suit. 3 down for the side of Froyotech. Weak players all around. Glimmer will go down. Aizen is at 40 health right now. Can anyone pick up this frag? Alpha is dancing across point right now, trying to put pressure in. Here comes a bomb from a soldier. Trip will get taken out by Slam in the air now. The re-aggression from the side of Froyotech, forcing Mal out here to the base of their cliff. Now looking to get aggressive again. Sin getting some nice stickies in onto the medic, but it won't be enough to make Skis back off as Froyotech trying to hold on to as much ground as they can. Now finally backing off a little bit. I'm expecting a soldier bomb to come in. Maybe Blaze looking on the flank right now. No, he's going to back off a bit. Banny up on the high ground once again. Cap time now starting to come back in favor of Froyotech as Blaze is going to go behind. Excuse me, the Uber finally popped out on point. losing my words here. Alpha very weak. Blaze is behind once again, trying to take this fight versus Glimmer maybe. Now jumping in, trying to get behind Brock. Aizen will go down to that bomb. Absolutely massive. I didn't even see the angle he was coming from. 2 down from the side of Mal. Blaze does go down for it, but weak players all around for the Mal. They'll have to back out, and we'll see another one mid for the side of Froyotech as they continue their dominance in the second half trip, taken out very late by Eric as well.
Yeah, Blaze had perfect timing there. They saw him going behind, but were not able to successfully clean him up, and that kill onto Aizen is putting things in the picture that it is right now. Small Uber ad for Skis, so they are able to play that if things go long enough, but Mal just trying to get up this soap without dying. Seems like it's going to be a bomb from Glimmer, trying to make space. Doesn't quite commit, though. A lot of weak players on either side, but some buff ones, too, so all is not. There are going to be some spam continuing to happen. Especially Habib getting very weak. Have to be careful about that. Your demo can't dodge too much, but it seems like committing is actually happening from the blue soldiers. Uber comes out from the side of Habib and friends, jumping forward, collecting multiple kills, including Aizen, so that is a medic collected for the side of Froyotech. Have to make sure you're able to clean up these last few players that are still in here. One behind, one in front. Sin Karma's getting jumped on by the flank, able to clean up a trip. And behind, not sure where he's coming from. Oh, the second rocket. Just barely missed, did not hit the floor like he wanted, and Skis will live through that.
That was, so lucky from Skis. Now, just frags found early on. Skis picking up Glimmer. We have Alpha coming forward on Spy right now. We'll see what he's looking to go do. Right now, standing in main, we have the forward hold from Froyotech. They'll pick up Trip early on, unable to push through. So far, Glimmer also missing another jump out here. We'll have to see what the play is. Alpha, I believe, getting caught out now, down to just 50 health, and he will go down. Took a lot of players back with him, but Froyotech able to hold on to this forward positioning. 1:15 left on the clock for them, as there's just so much damage coming in. Trip will die again. Blaze with the rocket spam is too much. Eric watching this main choke, making sure no one comes forward. Sin is also taken out. This is catastrophic. No one can push forward from the side of Mal, as there's just so much spam coming through this one choke. You have to wonder, why aren't they rotating around right now, Jarrett?
I mean, usually the forward hold is the biggest bane of every team's existence, so we're seeing that now. It takes a little bit, but finally able to break through. The Pyro strat is leading to something fruitful slightly, able to make sure the Skis has backed up a little bit. Aren't an even Uber scenario. Habib is out in no man's land, does not give a single care about his positioning. He's just out here, gonna get saved a little bit, able to jump his way out, and he will not die for that, so... Gonna be, never mind, Caster's Curse, 5 across the map. Skis very low as well. Bottom for Glimmer, trying to make sure that he's pushed all the way back. Skis falling all the way back, and a nice shot from Banny on to Glimmer, so that is a soldier collected. Uber still haven't been popped off yet. It seems like Froyotech are not wanting to pull the trigger on that one. Just go ahead and let things go the way of Mal, but Uber finally coming in right now, trying to get in these kills and make them flash. The Pyro is still on the field, did not go back, and actually able to collect Slemdish in that, so going to be a person down for this post fight that they did not expect to have happen. So 5v5 for now.
So weak.
Yeah, a lot of weak players, bombing from Blaze, a lot of good damage, but only one cleaned up, so 1-for-1 trade. Trying to collect these frags. Eric trying to go in and make sure that there's space created for his demo to put out some damage, but this cap has not gone the way of Froyotech quite yet, despite a little bit of better spam going their direction. Glimmer trying to take a good spot on the high ground to apply pressure. Skis half HP. It's really difficult for him to commit now, but Aizen getting piped across the map over the rocks, and that is a medic death for Mal, so heal advantage going in the way of Skis. They try to trickle down the rest of these players, and Skis pop into air. Fall damage.
He gets it.
The fall damage
he
did
gets
it.
That's insane. Oh, absolutely just a terrific sack at the last second, trying to even up those Ubers, and though he didn't get it with the rocket, he finds that fall damage kill, and it counts. Medic is dead, and we'll see just a slight ad for the side of Mal. We'll have to see how well Froyotech is able to build this up as Mal gets ready to move forward here. They do have to, as there's only 7 seconds left on the clock, as I'm saying, and now coming forward, a bit of aggression on the flank side, taken out there. Aizen also very weak, down to below 50 health. We'll have to see. Froyotech has the opportunity to collapse here. Sin down to just 3. Can anyone find the kill onto him? He will go down, but not before Glimmer finds Skis. An absolutely massive kill to maybe hold on to this point just a little bit longer, as we are in overtime right now for the side of Froyotech, picking up these last kills, but not before losing Aizen Habib, the only one alive for Froyotech. If he gets another kill here, no. Unfortunate, he's unable to pick those up, but not a great situation. They got to get this cap in soon. Just waiting for their spawners to come forward, as we are in overtime on this third round here.
Yep, a lot of depth on both sides of the field, so gonna take a sec for every team, or every person on the team to go ahead and roll out. Seems like Mal's gonna get here a little bit faster because they didn't own the point when they respawned. So they have some sort of sep going and some traps set up for the Froyotech approach. Small Ubrad, but probably won't come into play by the time the dry fight actually starts, knowing Froyotech. Weak soldiers, and actually Blaze is going to be the one to fall. he's been the one that's doing a lot of the plays for the team. It's going to be interesting to see how well they're able to play this with him dead, and it appears that they know very well that it's going to be difficult slowing down just enough to, make sure you don't accidentally have anyone else die on your team. Go ahead and wait for him to respawn. Have to be careful though. Aizen at 95% could pull the trigger and bomb in at any moment, and Ski's eating spam in main, eats a rocket and eats a roller, and that's a dead medic. So that is a medic collected for Mal. The rest of the team trying to push their way forward, banding in a fall, trip bombing in, or it is going to get leaded by Habib, trying to find anything on this point. The Uber will get forced out by the blue team. Remaining players, one in their main and one in the corner in connector, plays it very weak, and it will get cleaned up. So just a little bit of spam going your direction can definitely swing the tide. And now Mal under 60 seconds for this round, and maybe even more depending on how well this next hold goes.
Mal looking definitely a little bit better here. Glimmer popped up into the air shot's in, and he will go down. Benny cleans up the frag. Now Eric finds Alpha, who is sitting in that corner there. Not a good start to this next fight. Trip jumping in, trying to get behind. He's in connector. They will find Blaze, but Psy goes down, as does Aizen and Sin. Everybody is dying right now. That is a full team wipe, and Froyotech will take the third round. Unfortunate to see that fight end so early with Mal trying to turn this one around. It's 3-0 on our first map of the night. I'll let you take this, what might be last mid away.
I think a caster cursed that. I said that it was a one fight, and then all of a sudden they dropped two. But mid-fight, here we go. Spam going across the point. No slaughter bombs quite yet. Trying to put some extra damage before you initiate. Trip taking the connector a little bit, but takes some damage in turn. Habib actually getting very low, has to make sure that he's aired up and A-okay for the upcoming fight to be happening. It seems like spam is going to be the name of the game. It's continuing on. No one wants to actually commit quite, despite a lot of damage on the field. Speaking of damage, Skis very behind the rock, and they know that's going to actually pull the trigger a little bit. Pull Mal to get aggressive, and they are able to collect that frag with just spam, not even committing. They're all on their own side of the map, ready for the remaining members of Froyotech to try to barrel the way forward. Eric able to collect a kill onto Sin Karma, but that is it for now. They're backing up, rehealing, and Froyotech, they haven't pulled the trigger quite yet. They know that if they're going to go in, it needs to be when Mal is getting somewhat aggressive, and that is now. They're starting to push it forward a little bit, but their health, I think, is just a little bit too bad. So Ski's back up now, able to air up some players and be in a position to try to force the Mal team, but it seems like Mal's in a position where they might just want to use it themselves.
Yeah, they're very aggressive in positioning. Benny goes for a jump in onto the combo, as does Blaze, but he goes down. Habib following suit. So many weak players. Mal hasn't popped yet. Eric goes down too. Four-man sack fails and does not find the Uber force. A really great discipline there from the side of Mal, especially Aizen not popping out that Uber, and now they're looking for their own forward hold here on this grass. We'll have to see where Froyotech wants to actually go out. Habib is peeking on a different angle right now. We'll have to see. Is the Mal forward hold going to be as powerful as Froyos have been so far tonight? 2:22 on the clock right now as spam starts to come forward here, and the Uber's actually just going to get popped out to break this forward hold. Benny now going deep, trying to pick up the frags onto the non-Uber players, unsuccessful so far, as the Uber has now faded for the side of Froyotech. Trying to pick up kills late is Sai, but he'll go down instead. Aizen getting very weak, down below 20 health right now. He's in the red. Can anyone find the frag? No. Instead, Sai and Glimmer both going to go down for the side of Mal, as now Slam and Eric are taking this aggressively. We had the Pyro, or I don't think we even saw the Pyro, but Froyotech will now come back and take this point over Mal, scurrying back to the base of their cleft.
Yep, just needed the Uber to break that and able to get through the doors and make sure you can have a decent post Uber to be able to, push people back and collect enough kills to be able to take this point. So Ubers are pretty much even. Going to see a soldier bomb immediately off the bat, bombing in on the Glimmer, getting him very weak, and it seems like that's enough of a distraction to collect more kills on the board. Glimmer and Sintcomer going down, only Fanny going down as well. But as I'm saying this, the flies continue to drop for both teams. Blaze being the most recent one to fall as we go into a 3v3 fight right now until respawners come in. Nice pipes from Habib immediately onto a scout and a medic, so it's really difficult for them to commit. That's going to leave Sly dying because he doesn't have his comrades with him to continue to fight, immediately ending with that first fight. But second one coming in, Glimmer trying to show face and make sure that some pressure is applied to the rest of the teammates. Able to collect out Eric, which is a very nice opening frag for them. The Ubers haven't actually come out quite yet, but thinking about it, Aizen is actually getting on caution, very aggressive, has to be careful. Seems like only a matter of time before, yes, the Ubers will get popped out, trying to find any damage. Alpha's on a chase, getting a little bit of damage on the Blaze, but not too much. It seems like Slim a little bit unflashed, gonna take some as well, but nothing to write home about. And all the double spam on a trip, that was really well coordinated to take over. Roman is sitting on the flank, and the floater bomb coming in on Aizen very weak, trying to collect the cliff back, but Blaze is Banny's on the chase. One missed rocket, but the second one hits the mark, and that is a medic collected for the side of Froyotech. Banny is giving his life for that, and now preparing for the sack. Habib sticking the rock, getting in for Glimmer. Glimmer bombing in, but above the stick, he's not quite there, but the scouts are going to do well enough to stop that sack coming in, as well as collecting Trip. The rest of them coming into the meat grind are very weak, and it's only a matter of time before they fall because they are both red health alpha. Go ahead and screwing off and not adding another death to his stats and just staying alive for another day. You don't want to accidentally stagger your spawns.
No, that would not be ideal here, as it looks like Froyotech didn't have a chance to set up this warhole. We'll see Glimmer getting up onto Cliff early on, taking that space for his team to come forward, and they're going to just start working their way up here. We did see the bomb come in from Blaze, I believe, getting behind, as is Banny. Blaze did go down early. We'll see if Banny can find a frag or go down. Sai is taking that duel right now behind. Now, a little bit of damage onto Eric, got very low himself. Banny jumping back onto Concrete. Can anyone find the kill? Yes, he will go down. Alpha on a 6K right now. Ski's going to pop the super, try to get very aggressive onto Aizen. No one is with it right now. Aizen is just completely left out to dry. Will go down early, and the side of Mal is just everywhere right now. No one is together. But
Trip,
that said, Trip, #1 roamer, proving it again as he goes in, finds a nice kill. 3, 4, 5. There we go. Blaze finally going down. Spoke too soon there. So a good refight from the side of Mal, although losing that medic early on, not a great situation. But now 20 seconds on the clock for Froyotech, 150 for Mal. They have a chance to hold on a little bit longer here on the first map of the night.
Yeah, Alpha's on a 10K right now, and he's going to have to keep that up if they want to make sure they own this point for, you know, enough to catch the round. 20 seconds left as a tall order. Trip bombing in, trying to create some space for his team. It'll land on the pack, and it's going to be enough of a distraction to allow them to collect all these other kills on the map while they're just looking at the soldier in the sky. Only 3 people left alive on Froyo, and this fight is pretty much over before it really even began. They didn't even get to enact any of their plans, so gonna have to wait for the respawners for their second try to walk up. Although Trip not quite there this time to cause the distraction that led in the success previously, but wait too long, and Aizen is gonna get his Uber and be able to use it to make sure they own at least some presence on the point, and it seems like that's gonna be happening right now. Sai running forward, it's gonna be a bit of a solo Uber, but good damage onto Habib. Not able to, the pack wasn't quite up yet, so Habib is gonna actually fall. Breaking beam a little bit, Sai able to go ahead and collect another kill, and the spam from Sin Karm is able to make sure that even more, but without scout speed, Aizen is not protected.
Sai versus Skis! He gets it!
They sold out real hard and able to collect a lot of kills, Sai, but lost your medic his life, so it's been unfortunate going for more. He gets to, okay, now this is getting the green light for me. This is definitely the distraction you need, and making sure that your medic who died earlier can get back to the point in time for the fight. Bombing in on this income, popping up in the air. Nice rockets from Banny to make sure there's no demo from Mal as we get into what could be the last fight, Godfather.
Yeah, coming right back in is Froyotech. They get that early bomb from Banny, excuse me. I believe Aizen took a pipe there. Alpha getting behind right now.
Oh my God,
trying to dual slam. The jukes are there. Glimmer finds Blaze as pressure now coming back in, but 10 seconds, 5 right now for, we might be seeing an overtime from Mal for the first time tonight. Damage is onto Habib right now. Alpha trying to get behind. Trip will die. Not the greatest situation right now from Mal, as they are finding one more onto Eric. They trade out for Alpha. Can we see damage in onto Combo? No one touches! And Mal gets the first round. It's 3-1. Maybe turning things around a bit in these last 2 fights. Or rounds, rather.
His dancing shoes on at the last second there. I think one of the soldiers bombed him, and he just moved like a god and made sure he was able to live through that to make sure his team was healed up to own their first point on the board. But going into this next mid fight is going to be pretty rough for them. We already have Blaze all the way behind, causing a big distraction to allow the rest of the team to go in. He might die, but not without giving his team tons and tons of pressure, so have to make sure you definitely use it. Banny falling, and it seems like they're not able to collect more than just Sin, at least for now. It's a 4v5 scenario, able to collect another kill. Habib definitely putting the team on his back, at least for this mid-fight, and doing a lot of damage and collecting the kills. Bomb from Glimmer trying to go in, not able to find too much, but the coordination from Mal actually not able to do it. I could have sworn that they were able to put enough damage out to collect at least one more frag, but no. 3 deaths for no frags at the very, very end there, so that is overall a 1 Froyotech mid-fight.
Yeah, I agree. I thought there was going to be enough damage to find some frags there on the 3-man sack, but unsuccessful. Both meds holding on to their Uber, though, as we look for this second fight on the point right now. Glimmer on the side ground right now. We're going to see an aggressive Uber from the side of Froyotech, but Mal is going to pop right back out. Sin up in the sky, missing his flash. He gets one more. Here comes a bomb from the soldier, trying to find him, and Banny does a nice follow-up there. Now trying to chase down Aizen, who's a bit weak right now. Are some scouts. Eric maybe looking to get behind right now. Trip goes down, but trades up for Slam. Aizen getting down to about 50 health right now. They did finds 3 kills in this post Uber, trading out again just for Trip. Now pressuring in onto Blaze. Can we find this kill? Maybe not. Point pressure is secured though, as it looks like Mal's going to be able to recap this point. 2:07 on the clock for Froyotech in what is their map point. They're going to be getting back onto this cliff though. Have Blaze on the flank, going to get some spam onto Glimmer and exchange some back. Here comes a bomb from Benny, trying to find some space, but Trip going in. Oh, Trip almost hits the air shot. Zed goes down. Now might be the opening that Froyotech is looking for to move in onto point here. Sin getting pretty weak, as is Azen. Here comes the bomb from the Red Soldier, but he's going to circle back around. Spoke too soon, as Mal looking to reset here before this next fight.
Oh my god, the spam, as soon as they start to walk up immediately, their health just goes in the garbage can. They have an Uber to save them, but it seems like there's not connected. They're not on the same page. Azen didn't, I don't think Azen and the combo were like communicating. They were like up the slope, but Azen was still at the bottom of the cliff. I have no clue what's going on there, but they just bomb in and take the Uber exchange while Azen is unable to beam them whatsoever. So that's just not even an exchange to begin with. Down 2 already, and it seems like it might be one more if Psy goes in a little bit too deep and not able to collect anything. Glimmer getting collected as well on the opposite side of the map. Eric's just trying to be on a roll right now.
Eric
Maybe
might
cleaning
get
up
this kill.
Sin, but not quite. Doesn't go too
So
deep.
close.
Make sure he can stays alive for the Froyotech forward hold that Mal once again have to try to find a way to beat. They have the Pyro this time, and it worked last time that they pulled out the Pyro strat, but you know, it's not a guarantee, so we'll have to see if the execution will be there this time around.
Getting early damage onto Sai, who's very weak, but actually finding 2. Glimmer and Sin both picking up kills, and now they'll go down themselves. Banny will die later on, so the forward hold is broken. Now trying to get forward is the side of Mal. Excuse me, they only lost 1. Try to push out your skis. Down below 100 health right now. A pipe will kill him. Alpha getting very aggressive. Top side Uber out with a force. He'll go down early on. Now trying to chase in is the demo. Unsuccessful so far, as Sin's going to be getting out to the base of his cliff, waiting for it. Ooh, we have Sai on Spy.
I think Psy expected his team to die to that Uber, so he went up Spy for the post, but then his team got out. So now he's like, oh, they're breaking through cliff, trying to put some damage on a Froyo and make them back up. Have to be careful, don't accidentally drop into your players. Able to collect a beep, so that's really nice, and it seems like a bombing from the soldier is going to prompt the Uber to be popped. Trying to chase down Slemish and put some damage into it, make sure that frag is collected. But Skis is out in no man's land alone on cliff and is going to die. You're going to lose Trip on the back lines to Eric, who is behind, so it's going to be difficult for them to actually forward hold. And Sin a little bit too deep. Got to make sure this soldier is still alive, but the crater damage is there. Benny's going to fall. Blaze jumping forward on the point immediately, trying to get an opening onto the scouts and Azen, and Eric trying to make sure that he can use the distraction the best he can, but it seems like it's just a little bit too much. So seems like the point is going to go in Mal's favor for now, and you know, despite Froyotech having overtime and being in a pretty good spot, this is quite, you know, it's quite the hold you're gonna have to pull off.
Yeah, 230 is no easy feat here for Mal to try to hold on to this and keep this map alive. Again, it's a best of 3 series, so if Froyotech takes this, it's not over. Sai will go down to early Habib damage, who's now very weak himself. Can anyone find this lead damage? No. Glimmer and Sin will fall on the other side of things. Benny is up on the opposing cliff, getting spam, and Trip goes down. No one touches point, and that will be map number 1, going 4-1 in favor of Froyotech. We'll take a look at logs before getting ready for our next map, which will be Koth Bagel, if I am correct.
I'm pretty sure it's Bagel. That was a pretty clean last fight. I'm pretty sure that just came down to DM. I don't think there was anything too crazy in terms of, like, I think it was normal soldier initiation and just trying to clash heads, and Froyotech came out on top this time. But, you know, with 2:30 left on the clock, it was only a matter of time before that round went their direction. Looking at the logs for this half, it's going to be Sin, Karma, and Banny being very close together, topping the charts, the DPM. But realistically, there was multiple people that were getting 300 DPM and above, which was not the case previously. I think last time we saw some people in a 200 DPM sad zone, which is very unfortunate for Viaduct, given its non-stop action. Could have Slem once again topping the chart with 22 kills, so good job on him, making sure that he's able to clean up the kills that his team needs him to. We talked about that a little bit earlier on in the pre-game about how scouts are really important for Koth in particular, to make sure that, you know, frags go in the direction of your team, so you can hold on to the point longer for a longer amount of time. But gonna go ahead and look at the combined logs pretty soon here. Godfather, what are you seeing?
Well, I mean, at this point, everybody probably knows that one of the things I love to look at in logs are air shots. Benny hitting 7 air shots here in this first map. Very nice work from him. Blaze hitting 3, Glimmer hits 2, Habib hits 1, but definitely putting on a show in playoffs here for us tonight. What are you seeing in these combined?
Well, I'm definitely seeing the players that I think were the biggest playmakers for the teams are the ones that are dying the most, which makes sense because for as many as we saw, I mean, it would make sense if they're trying to like do something for their team nonstop, and that's actually what you pointed out before the match started. You know, looking at the roamers of Blaze and Trip, both of them ended up being the things that would maybe not all the fights, but a lot of the fights were sparked by something that they pulled off. You know, either initiating a really nice flank fight or just landing in a really annoying spot and drawing enough eyes so that, you know, if you can live your 1v2 for long enough, your team can take a 5v4 and, you know, maybe win the 5v4 convincingly enough to, you know, hold on to the point or take it back, depending. So, definitely important to continue to look at them as we go into Bagel. It's probably going to play out somewhat similarly in terms of the soldiers playing a big part. I would say even more so just because of how wide Bagel is very much more flank focused. If something is happening on the flank, depending on, you know, where exactly in it is in one of the two houses, it can be more rough to kind of just flick over to the left and right and immediately help them at the snap of your fingers. Unlike Viaduct, where, you know, if your flank gets bombed, it's literally like less than a second and you can see who they are. So it's gonna be definitely more flank focused, and seeing as they've been the pivotal thing that's been driving the fights, it's going to be interesting to see who is able to keep up the pace and doing what their team needs them to do.
Yeah, definitely interested to see how this next map will go. Now, I'm gonna have a bit of a callback here. Was the casted match where we kept seeing those flank plays? Was that Mal going for those consistent flanks, taking their combo through on the side and getting it onto the opposing concrete?
That was Mal versus Witness, and
It
Alpha
was
was.
so successful.
Yeah, Alpha was on Combo Scout, and they would constantly take Ubers through house as a surprise play. The only issue is if you do it too much, like it's Froyo, so it's not like they haven't necessarily played it against it before. So you definitely want to make sure you have more than one, you know, a plan. Have a plan B if plan A doesn't work. But I'd say it's a pretty solid plan A if they want to go that route.
I would be very excited to see Mal try to pull that one again and see if they have similar success. Obviously, Froyotech and Witness Gaming play very differently, completely different teams, but has been. I mean, that was just something that time and time again that flank strat worked, and we'll see if that plays out here tonight, or maybe Mal has something else up their sleeve, and we are getting in. Well, not getting started anytime soon. But we're on the next map, Koth Bagel. Froyotech will be on blue this time around, so don't get confused on that. What are you expecting to see in terms of player-specific matchups? Anything going to be different from products?
I don't think so. I mean, we saw a variety of mids for product. We saw some mids that were extremely fast paced, where as soon as a soldier got to mid, you would do a bomb for his team as a distraction or committing onto a weak player. And then we saw some slower paced ones for sure, and you know, where you just kind of put some damage out and then play reactionary off the damage that was put onto the enemy team. I think we're gonna probably see. I think it's likely we'll see both, but definitely more on the slower pace side because I think it's difficult to roll out to Bagel mid and just like definitively call what you're going to be doing if you don't necessarily know how the other team is going to set up in terms of presence in either of the two houses. It's definitely something that a lot of teams will at least try to spot out in some degree. Uh, so it's something to keep in mind. I feel like just jumping the gun and playing super aggressive, unless it's your super like strength and that's like your jam for your team, I feel like it's probably only going to be like their last resort if their other plans are not working. So maybe something that will happen later on in the match. But I would expect a slow start for the mids at the beginning. But obviously it's Koth, so it's not exactly slow for the rest of it. For the most part, non-stop action and fights as previous. So
Especially considering the cap time on this map is near instantaneous. So you put a scout on cap and no one touches it to contest, and you get that cap so quickly. It's definitely perhaps something a little shocking to someone who doesn't play sixes or hasn't played this map before. I know the first time I saw a match on this map, I thought the the HUD was glitching. So if you're unfamiliar, you're in for a treat because this map, of all Koth maps is extremely fast-paced in point play, and I think we shouldn't see, unless Froyotech or Mal pull out some insane forward hold and just don't give up any grounds, I don't think we'll see any 3-minute cap rounds where the other team doesn't get in onto point, but who knows? Only time will tell. Looks like we have everybody is on the server, but we're still waiting for people to join up on teams. As I say that, Mal joins his team. I know Froyotech is already readied up, so we're just waiting for the side of Mal. And as I say that as well, we're going to get right into this map number 2. Jarrett, any predictions for this map?
I think Mal have a better chance of this map, but I still am kind of thinking towards like a 4-1 scenario.
I am in the same mindset, 4-1, maybe a 4-2 if Mel's able to pull something out here, but getting in onto this mid of the second map, Blaze will be going down very early. Sai finding the kill. I didn't even see where that happened. Now Trip getting aggressive. Eric finds his death as there's death everywhere actually. Slam and Habib both going down. It's terrible for the side of Froyotech. Alpha will trade out, but absolute demolished was the side of Froyotech. I didn't have words for it when it happened. Now we're going to see Mal going for an early forward hold, not Froyo hold, onto concrete. Jared, take it away while I regroup.
Making me eat my words, going with an aggressive mid off the bat. And this forward hold seems like it's not too strong for you, able to peek well enough to make sure that Mal is able to not able to hold the doors good enough for them to, you know, make sure this Uber stuff's going to be popped out onto Sin. Knocked dead with Azen, doesn't have the positioning quite there to make sure that he stays alive. So no Doma for this post Uber, a little bit rough. During this Uber, the cap actually goes the way of Froyo. It's just that fast. And with Glimmer and Sai immediately falling off the deck and dying, that is going to be immediately a lost post Uber from the side of Mal. And just have to scurry off back to your spawn, get your players ready to go, and no, you're losing your demo as well. So that's a really tough situation to be in. Blaze falling, so getting a little bit too overzealous. So could have the Blaze pick to work off at the very least, but bot time nonetheless for Froyotech, and they're still doing this hold to start being down a soldier.
Yeah, just keeping up the pressure. They're going to back off a little bit here, but now just getting set up to be ready for when Mal does break through. Mal rotated around here. Now Benny's up in this perch. I wonder if he's going to go for a bomb here or just like waiting to get some spam in. No one's spotted him. Damage to Azen, and he gets the kill. Absolutely demolished. No one checked behind as Mal decided to work forward. Ski's getting pretty low though, down to 75 health. He'll pick up a pack, but Benny with the big brain play there, sitting on that high ground, and no one from Mal was able to check it. They did get the point, but pressure is back in from the side of Froyotech as they do have their full Uber to work with. Might see a force try to come in from the side of Mal as they're going to get right back in onto point. They're trying to bait in Froyotech, try to take this fight. Now Uber is popped out. Habib way up in the skybox, going very high. Alba going to go down, as is Sin Karma. Slam trying to pick up these frags. Glimmer will go down very late as the cap did not come through for the side of Mal. Trip will be a very late death as well, as now Sai coming up on Sniper. He takes one shot, swaps back to Scout. Players respawning insanely quickly. As mentioned, cap down to 130 right now, though, for Froyotech. Jarrett, take us away for this next fight.
Yep, trying to break through this forward hold. I think they realize that the little garage area is a bit open, but they haven't actually made it through. They're trying to go through. Oh, missed dead on Sai, so able to get through very cleanly. Not able to put a whole lot of damage. Habib actually taking a lot of damage himself, so Froyotech to go ahead and back up to their own side of the map. Uber, it's not too much longer until I imagine Azen and friends will actually run across the point. But for now, they're just trying to make sure that this cap goes their direction. Able to clean up Blaze, which is good for them, so player advantage going their direction. Froyotech still showing a presence. Eric falling, so it's even more of a presence in favor of Mal. It is a 6v4 scenario. Uber has not been popped yet. Skis his Uber. It's finally coming into play though. Have to be careful though. I don't think they want to necessarily Uber too hastily without their team quite in position.
Flank.
Able to collect Trip, which is very nice endeavor for them. So a good position to allow them to get some sort of flank play off when this Uber exchange eventually comes off. Trying to get on the point. It seems like the trigger's going to get pulled. Uber coming out. Good damage on the Blaze. Able to collect him. And it seems like they're continuing to go behind to start to spread the damage out onto the remaining Froyotech players. Have to go ahead and back up. Habib jumping backwards. He knows he needs to make sure he's in a good position so he doesn't die for this post. Don't have all their players ready. Blaze is rolling out, so it's not able to initiate. Skis very. We have to be careful. Habib weak as well. Alpha's going down to 5 HP. Is going to clean up by the soldier spam coming in from Vanny. Eric is going to fall to pipe from Sin Karma though, and just they're dropping like flies left and right and center. Seems like things are going to start to slow down a little bit though. 4v4 scenario, and we're going to end up with post Uber fight number 2.
Yeah, excited to see what's able to happen here. Very weak players from the side of Freya do go down.
Oh, the cleanup.
both found. Great cleanup there. Trip and Sin, respectively, finding those kills. Now, as time continues to tick down, Trip will go down, though. Eric finding that kill. That's going to open things up. He'll be just storming right across point, trying to continue this cap, but there is presence from Mal scouts. The cap does come through, so we're below 60 for both teams right now. Looks like Mal is going to be pretty passive. They have about a 10% ad, and it looks like they want to start walking forward now as they have come up on their Uber skis as well, holding on, pressuring onto the point. Here comes a bomb from a Froyo soldier. They'll back up. Uber exchange is across point. No pressure onto the point right now, though. 40 seconds on the clock and counting down. Here comes Blaze. He'll go down to side behind Eric. He's taken out as well. Sai will finally go down to Benny. Now getting in behind is someone else. Is Glimmer. I didn't even see who it was. Finding skis. More players falling for Froyotech. Alpha goes down on the other side of things, but not before finding Habib on demo. Looking pretty good for Mao right now. Definitely a change of pace from the product map.
Yeah, they did a good job at cleaning up all these kills, but the problem is they expended their own resources in 3 of their own players, so they don't get to own it for too long. So 30 seconds roughly on the clock for both teams, but in Froyotech's hands for now. Mal definitely have to make sure they're able to have this work out very cleanly for them if they're going to hold on to this long-term alpha.
The traps.
Yeah, falling immediately to a trap is going to be a little bit rough for them, trying to continue the pressure on each of these side houses and across the point, but 2 more deaths coming out of the soldiers is probably going to spell disaster for their team. So like trying to go for a flank, be a little bit aggressive, and someone on the other side of the map is going to fall, so that is a little bit of an endeavor, but it might just be too much of a tall order. Flies are dropping, Sin is falling, and this might be all she wrote. No medic, no demo for their team. Trying to pull out anything scrappy they can to have something go their way, putting some presence on the point. The pressure is there, but the health is definitely not alpha. Coming with the flank last second to clean up. Ski's able to collect the kill at 87%. So it seems like things are slightly going in their favor. Still have some Froyotech players still around. Have to be careful when the flank coming from Glimmer. Able to collect one. The Slem's able to take him out. So have to be careful. No medic, but you still don't have tons of players around to stop Froyotech from running at your team. Slemnish is going to fall, but not without Sin. Glimmer dying to Eric.
Gotta
nice
touch
frag
point
on the side. Yeah, have to be careful stopping the point. Isn't able to get on it, but there's 2 players that are still there. Froyotech is still constantly around the point. And what needed to be a perfect retake for them wasn't quite perfect, but still good enough to make sure that not only do they take this, but they're not in a bad spot right now.
That was absolutely crazy. Froyotech just was not looking as strong as they were before. Now Benny trying to retake this, getting pressure in, getting 1 rocket, now looking for the second. You know, it's a scout trying to clean up Aizen right now. They will find the kill. It's overtime situation. You got to stay on point, but only 2 alive with the side of Witness Gaming as everyone's falling. Sin, the only one alive. He's got to stall this out as long as he can, but he can't. And an overtime to a 7-second. Mal definitely looking better on this map, I will say, but it has been tough. They will go down 1-0. Jarrett, I'll let you take away the second mid. Maybe we'll see a slower one this time.
Yeah, they have some nice heat of the moment plays, but you definitely have to make sure setups goes in your favor, and seems so far the mids are not going actually set up as it seems. We immediately have some pressure coming in from each of the houses. Seems like they're not going to actually commit quite yet, don't want to pull trigger quite yet, and make sure that you keep things fresh and a little bit, Trip dying to a trap, landing right on top of the stickies. Immediately 1 death, and Sin, make sure this ground is held, gonna get bombed by Blaze, but good enough health to make sure he can live through that. Continue the spam on his side, committing all the way in, gonna die, not able to find anything, so 2 down for the side Mal, a little bit of a sticky situation for them. Flank coming from Blaze, trying to bomb in, and nice damage onto the enemy team. Aizen will get cleaned up, and that is a red medic that is dead. Sin poking his head around. Trip somewhat behind, trying to go in for a big bomb to see if he can get on the skis, but skis is indoors. Trip gonna be a-okay though, takes the pack, go ahead and leaves, and things are going to go in Froyotech's favor. They own the point, got full Uber advantage, and it looks like they want to do some sort of a forward hold as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see what they decide to do here as Mal begins to work their way forward. Trying to get some early spam in. Skis gets pretty low himself. Trip will go down. Habib with a nice pipe to clean him up late into the... Oh, so much damage onto Sin. Oh, the pipe spam is too much, as well as Froyotech now backing off a little bit. These spawners are very fast, so 2:20 on the clock right now for Froyotech, and counting down as always. Looks like they're going to opt for a push from the opposite side, but Sai is just deleted.
Oh, they want to Uber.
Now Bandy going very aggressive, finds Aizen. Slap picks up Trip as well, and everyone's going down. Alpha trades out, but 5 down for the side of Mal. Not looking good here as 2 minutes and counting down right now. for Froyotech.
That's a really good play from them. We have Glimmer trying to come in at the very last second, get something for his team, but isn't quite able to hit the mark. That was a really nice play, using your Uber to make sure they're in a caught-out situation. Speaking of caught-out, holy blaze! Collecting both the scouts in each other's models. That's going to definitely slow things down for Mal, as they're going to have to burn a little bit more of the clock to get those scouts respawned up before they actually try to bust through any of these doors. Froyotech are still in somewhat of a pseudo forward hold, not completely, but the presence is still there. At least you have Blaze putting a lot of damage out, but he's nice. He has to go ahead and back up, so it's not going to take too much for them to be able to break through. Mal, a bomb coming from Glimmer, trying to create space. Have to be careful of the traps, though. Don't want to accidentally eat them and immediately, not able to retake this point, but things are going to go in that direction. Have to be careful with Ski's Uber. It is going to come into play by now, but 2 soldiers down for the side of Mal is not going to bode very well for them. 10% left until Aizen gets his own. Could see an Uber exchange here, depending on how slow things go. And actually, Bandy's going to clean up in the house from Alpha, sneaking through the doorway, is able to collect
Blaze
him.
behind.
So 4v4 scenario, Blaze a little bit behind, though. Might be,
going for the bomb.
Yep, going for the flank, but it's the same time as the Uber exchange. The timing is not quite there. Side putting a little bit of damage on him, able to clean him up, and the chase is not able to collect a beep, so this post Uber is very deep in enemy territory on Froyotech side. Alpha is going to fall, but Aizen is going to be a-okay. A little bit chasing too deep there, but ultimately still holding on to the point, at least for now.
Yeah, difficult situation to hold on for this long, as Froyotech has that point presence already. Eric dancing across point right now. Here comes a bomb from the soldier trip, trying to take him out. Unsuccessful though, as Eric is too slippery on this mid, and we'll see Froyotech is building a little bit faster. Glimmer will go down, Blaze straight out. Now Sin also following suit. 2 down for the side of Mal right now, as the side of Froyotech, very strong presence on point. Now the bomb from Bandy trying to get behind him, picks up Aizen, going down. Terrible situation right now for Mal. Skis at 90% and climbing fast. We'll have this Uber as we are below 1 minute in this first half of the second map. Froyotech looking to secure the half and get in a good position to win this game tonight.
This is rough. You need to force the Uber, but you actually really want to make sure that the cap goes in your direction. But it seems like Froyotech is going to enter the house immediately and go straight into the opposing team. A lot of damage, able to collect Limber. The medic is the thing they want. Going to lose Slummish, but able to collect Sin Karma. So it's going to go a little bit in their favor. Seems like the flank on the side of Mal is going behind, able to collect Banny, and they're going back for him. Trip and Sire living for now, causing a distraction. Trip staying behind inside, meeting back up with his team, and Trip is just continuing to be a nuisance. They're actually bringing their heals as well as Eric to go all the way back, and that's enough room for Alpha to get on the point and push Habib all the way back. Trip bombing in from Trip. He's going to go and surf all the way back to safety. Blaze is going to fall on the side of collecting. Actually, Alpha's going to collect that kill, but Habib, he surfed away from his team. Able to collect the bottle kill on the side, though. A couple too many missed shots is going to be the Doman getting a melee kill on Sai. So, they're able to own this point for now. They have Uber ready to go, so things could still end up being in their favor despite being down on Scout. They collected the demo of all things, which is a very nice endeavor for them, so it's going to make Froyotech's free push a little bit slow. Seems like a sack wave is going to be the thing that going in, immediately trying to go onto the flank, and a drop coming in from Blaze. I don't think they saw the late soldier coming in, they just expected it to be all at the same time, but a little bit of a delayed sack from Blaze is going to catch Aizen off guard, and that's just a straight up drop. I don't even think he was looking at him, so full wipe, spare side, and that is going to go in Froyotech's favor. And with 14 seconds left, I think this round might be over.
I would have to agree. It's going to be Sin using a lot of spam early on as he tries to work his way forward, and Froyotech's going to just use this Uber, grab the stats, take out Trip, try to pick up a few more frags onto Sin Karma. Perhaps Aizen goes down again. We're in overtime, and no one. Oh, actually, here comes the scout trying to dance around. Can he pick up the med side? Doing his best. Goes down. Half one goes to Froyotech, 2-0, and we'll take a look at logs here, but I'm expecting a very fast ready up once again. Don't think Mal, maybe Mal's mental might be a little bit hurt right now, as they are down and not looking good here on map number 2.
We can always turn things around, though, depending. I mean, the first half was pretty close, so if they mimic what they did previously and make some adjustments, they could still put on a good showing. That last sack, though, I'm not sure if that was deliberate from Blaze or it was just a byproduct of his health and needing to play slow, but I don't think they were expecting a late soldier to come in at the end of there at all, so the drop definitely makes it difficult for you to hold on to the point, so it makes sense that that round went in Froyotech's favor near the end there. We have the logs on the screen, though, and there's something that you just cannot ignore. Habib hitting 525 DPM, It's normal to see a 300 DPM demo. You see a 400 DPM demo, you could say, oh, he's doing pretty good. He's probably, being in some Ubers, and his ads are probably working out really well, doing a lot of damage, but 500? 500? there's definitely something going wrong for the side of Mal that they are unable to stop, and Habib is just on a train right now, and I'm sure that he just wants to keep that train rolling.
Once again, looking at the damage stats and kills as well, total kills for Froyotech 68, Mal 42, total damage 25,000 for Froyotech, just under 20,000 for the side of Mal. The damage, be it spam, be it like clean hits, what have you, the damage is there for Froyotech, making it impossible for Mal to do anything. And honestly, I think if Mal's DM were up a bit or Froyo's down a bit, either way, we'd be seeing a bit of a closer game tonight. It's just so hard for Mal to do anything and make anything work when there is so much damage being sent their way.
I mean, we saw it more on Viaduct, but even still on Bagel, we sometimes see it where some of these fights are really ending before they start. Like, realistically, it may not be as obvious because no one's necessarily dying, but when a team is approaching the point, so far Froyotech is doing a much better job at applying spam and removing buffs than Mal's. When Mal owns the point and Froyotech approaches, it doesn't seem like Froyotech has a really rough time, and they're able to keep their health, which is why in so many of these just straight up dry fights, they're going so much more in Froyotech's way compared to Mal, where sometimes when they approach, they immediately just lose one to a trap or just to spam or a bomb or anything like that. So it's really on the way that your team initiates and the timing of it. So it's a lot on the soldiers to make space. It's a lot on the scouts to make sure they're spotting traps properly and not accidentally eating them. And it's on the classes that have low mobility, like your demo and your medic, to make sure that you wait enough time for the spam to go by and you don't accidentally eat it on your way in, but not too slow and you end up being disconnected for your team. I think we saw that on Viaduct earlier on, especially with a very unfortunate play from Mal where it was supposed to be an Uber exchange, but Aizen wasn't connected with the beam because he was delaying for the spam too long, so the team got dropped. So there's a fine line you have to find, and it seems like Mal has not quite found it yet, and Froyotech is definitely abusing it to the degree that is making this not all of the time, but so far many of the rounds we've seen in KOF so far in this best of 3 are heavily in their favor.
Yeah, it's been pretty much dominance so far tonight from the side of Froyotech, as actually was Mal that readied up first, but now looks like we might have a bit of a delay as Eric has gone. Also, has Benny's ping been spiking this entire night? Benny's sitting at 181 ping right now. Hopefully that does not, or it's dropping now, but I was just holding tab for a second and got very concerned that we might see a bit of a delay, but who knows at this point. Eric, again, is one sitting in spec right now. And
I don't think I've noticed this ping spiking, but then again, I haven't really been looking out for it. I'm assuming that he would have probably called for a pause or something if it got really bad. This might just be like a one-off thing, and that's why they're not readying quite yet. That's because you definitely want to wait to see if it'll go down a little bit. Yeah, it's dropping.
He's down to just a casual 114 on the soldier right now.
That's much better than 170.
That is very fair. Hopefully he can keep this below 90. I think earlier tonight he was around 70. So hopefully things get sorted. I know he's been having a few PC problems here and there with freezing and whatnot. But what changes are you expecting to see from Mal here as they try to get back into this game? They have readied up. We're just waiting on Froyotech, but I'm expecting a little bit of a delay as Benny tries to wrangle his internet.
Well, they played a fast mid and it worked, and then they played a slow mid and it didn't work. So I'm probably expecting a fast mid again because kind of makes sense unless they really if they really know what they want to adjust for like a slow pace spammy type mid. But I feel like Mal they're running low on plans, I imagine, because I imagine you play a match and you show up and have some sort of idea what you want to do, and so far it's only really netted them one round when it comes to Koth, so eventually you just kind of gotta run in them. There comes a certain point where you're just like, we just have to fight these guys, like, because that's the one thing that you can do to solidify coordination. If you try to play like very reactive, sometimes you can run into the problem where, all right, we're gonna wait for X to happen. When that X happens, we go, and then you see that happen. Maybe it's like someone being in a certain spot on the other team, or someone else getting hurt, or something like that. But by then, people might not necessarily be ready to go in right at that moment. But if you just like say, all right, at 9:37 we're rushing in, or whatever you want to say, then that's definitely a surefire way to make sure that your team is, coordinated in the aspect that you so desire. So I would not be surprised if we just see them start to barrel across at the enemy team in hopes of collecting a kill, but we shouldn't have to wait too much longer. As Froyotech has readied up, we are going into potentially the last half of the series, but is yet to be seen. Have a couple rounds ahead of us still. Froyotech versus Mal. Will Mal be able to live and go on to Sunshine, or will Froyotech take this and go into upper bracket finals? The mid is starting. We're gonna not have to wait too much longer until we see Godfather.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Looks like Benny's ping is under control here, so a good sign for Froyo fans. As getting in onto this mid, isn't taking bit spam early on. Looks like no one is being very aggressive, kind of just feeling out the play. Benny going for a flank maybe inside house right now, getting behind. Eric will find Sin. Now the collapse is coming in. Ace up in the skybox, getting very low, down to just 10 health, I believe. Benny and Eric will both go down, trading out again for Sin. Now Alpha kind of bots in, goes down, pressure in. Not really enough though from the side of Mal. They're going to be backing out. Ski's able to pick up that Uber early on, and the point is capped. Now just waiting to see how Mal takes us back in, Jarrett.
Yeah, slow mid-fight, but it seems like the Uber exchange is going to come out immediately. A nice pistol on Habib, able to collect him, and Ski's is half HP, so not in a position to be able to stop the cap going the way of Mal. Ubers have not been popped quite yet. Got to make sure you're A-okay and all healthy and ready to go. Starting to peak a little bit. Skis is healthy now, so starting to poke their heads against Mal, who have taken position behind point on their own side of the map. Habib is also respawned at this point, so Uber will immediately come out. Soldier and Scout going in onto these players, with Blaze dropping on the sideline. It's going to be unfortunate for them. Bandy trying to create some chaos over on the flank, but positioning from Froyotech still seems to be okay, despite the fact they're losing a player. Have to be careful. Glimmer behind though. Slim has dropped his HP, isn't cleaned up quite yet, but it seems like he will eventually fall. Actually, Glimmer is the one that's falling, so a bit unfortunate for them. You have to deal with Bandy behind. Have to be careful. Seems like positioning is, for now, in the favor of Mal, with the flank coming in from Bandy. Trips trying to be hot on his case, and a nice rock onto them will fall, though. And it seems like the Blaze rockets are hitting mark, and Azen will fall. Just Sin, Karma left alive, and Eric is on the case to collect that kill. And that's a one fight from Froyotech. They took that slow, methodical, only having to give up their soldiers for that, and now they're able to own this point, and they're pretty forward. It might be difficult to forward hold, but they can get something going to make sure the enemy team is slowed down and then get this Uber in time before Mal really gets to, start approaching.
Yeah, no chance for a forward hold there without their soldiers in position, as Mal is going to be taking some spam, or pressure onto point, exchanging a little bit of spam across the point, is what I meant to say. Benny on that flank right now, getting some rockets in. We're going to see Trip going forward a bit. Habib going to get pretty darn low, but the beam is on him. He'll get healed up. Oh, Side's going to get taken out by Eric on a 5k right now. The Uber's actually used in onto the opposing concrete, and we'll see Azen now just continuing to build up here. Blaze getting so aggressive. Look at these soldiers from Froyotech. Everybody is all the way in right now. Looks like Mal's going to be rotating around. Side's going to catch out and spot this combo. Slim will be dying early on as the soldier bomb came in. Now pressure is coming forward. Froyotech will be having to back out. Spam is there. Azen getting pretty darn low, actually. He has his Uber not popping quite yet as he's looking to move forward with his team. Bandy now looking to get aggressive in this flank house. Maybe he can get this force out on time. And we have a pause?
Yep, this is a pause.
I'm never sure, because sometimes my internet decides that it doesn't want me to, watch TF2 anymore. But our first pause of the night, don't know what it's about quite yet. Again, ignore the clock, because it will be wrong for a moment. And in the meantime, enjoy Dolphin. I'm sure he'll be showing you all sorts of fun things. But what do you think the next play is here for Mal as they get ready to move in?
Well, they have Uber ads, so you definitely want to make sure that using your Uber in a position that will net you the kills you so desire, aka skis. If you collect everything but skis, it's, it can net you the point and maybe a forward hold depending on how many people survive, but you're really just leapfrogging back and forth and giving the other team an Uber ad, so you want to make sure that, you cross the fine line between being aggressive enough to, make sure that skis is dead, but not so passive that you just accidentally get forced, or not so aggressive you just accidentally get forced and aren't able to collect anything. So definitely have to be careful about the way you execute it. It appears that everyone's on the board in terms of showing up to the mid area for the side of Mal. They're kind of clumped though, not necessarily watching the flanks quite yet, so interested to see what Banny will be able to pull off on the side of the house. And Slumnish is not quite there yet though, so going to be difficult to have any scout support, as probably going to have Eric stuck to the beam to make sure that Skis is able to run out in time. So it shouldn't be the hardest execution if there's like a scout down, but scouts aren't the thing that force your Uber most of the time. It's soldiers. So I guess eyes are really on. Blaze is kind of showing his hand. He's up front and center and already is half HP. So I guess all eyes are on Banny. If Banny can pull out a play out of his pocket while he's in this house, unbeknownst to Mao, then they can get the force they need and make sure that Skis is able to live. But otherwise, the ball's in Mao's court. They just have to pull the trigger when they feel like it's appropriate. When Skis is in a range, they feel like they can actually catch and kill him. Otherwise, they'll just be giving Froyo a successful quote-unquote sack wave.
We have heard word from Dolphin that it is indeed Banny who is experiencing a little bit of lag right now and thus has asked for the pause, so we'll hopefully see internet issues get resolved. Obviously very difficult to play with 100+ ping, so I don't blame him for this pause. As it's, that's a pretty important match here. Even though you're up, you don't want to take any chances, and lagging out is no fun at all. So, have to wait a little bit longer as, just, again, waiting for Banny's internet to allow him to play.
Yep, I mean it makes sense. You gotta pause when necessary, and if it's high enough to where you really don't feel like you're able to contribute as a player, there's some merit in pausing to make sure that's all remedied. Even if you can keep a connection to the server, it's difficult to do a whole lot when you have really high ping above 100. And I think, like you said before, it was spiking to like 170 at one point. I think the lowest I ever saw it, like you said, was 70. But even when it wasn't like 170, it was still at like a flat 100, which is really rough and not exactly desirable. So definitely want everyone playing at full capacity for your match, especially because loser goes to lowers and winner goes to uppers. Very important, high stakes. It's playoff mode, so definitely can't take any chances.
Do you want to actually, for people who might not be as familiar, walk us through the playoff system in terms of upper bracket finals, lower bracket finals, what all of that means, and what it will mean for both teams? Actually, spoke too soon. Here's the unpause. You're gonna just keep getting right into it.
Debated.
Another pause? Come on, dude. You can't do that. All right, please go ahead and talk about what playoffs actually look like here in Invite Sixes.
Well, first seed went to Froyo, second seed went to Global Clan Ice, third seed went to Rebirth, and fourth seed went to Mal. Today you're seeing seeds 1 through 4, and on Thursday you'll see seeds 2 through 3. The system works where you keep playing all the other teams until you lose twice and get knocked out. The last team remaining will be crowned the victors, and as you get eliminated, you'll get fourth and then third and then second, respectively. The two winners will play each other the week after, and the two losers will play each other the week after as well, likely near the same day as we're seeing this time around. The loser of loser round 1 will be eliminated, and they get fourth. They'll move on to losers round 2, while we will see the semifinals happen around the same time between the two winners. The winner will go on to finals, and the losers will go down to meet the lower bracket runners in losers round 2. Loser of that will get third place and move on to the finals, where the last two remaining teams duke it out for first and second place.
Yep, so as much as this is just first round of playoffs, a lot on the line, and you definitely want to take home the win. And looking at the other match in this round, there is, of course, the number 2 versus number 3, GCI taking on Rebirth Esports, and that is happening here. Twitch.tv, RGLgg. This Thursday, I believe it is just Jazz and I casting that one, so giving you a well-deserved break, Jarrett, before we move into the second round. So definitely will want to tune into that one again. That is Thursday at 11 as we continue to be delayed by some Benny ping issues. Hopefully, again, that gets sorted out here soon.
Yeah, and for clarification, the losers round 1 and semifinals are not technically scheduled yet, obviously, as we don't know which teams they are. It's hard to schedule a day if you don't know which teams they're supposed to be scheduling, right? But I can only imagine they will both happen sometime next week-ish, depending on the availability of the teams. So whichever area of playoffs you're looking to be interested in, if you want to make sure you're able to catch the matches that as we get closer to teams actually being eliminated and seeing who is going to you know, take the grand finals spot, the first spot in there. It's going to be matches that you're going to want to watch next week. So, still waiting at least for now a little bit longer. I can only imagine the frustration with internet issues. It happens. Actually, I'm potentially losing my internet in like 40 minutes. Thanks, Spectrum, but we'll have to see if we'll have to get a replacement caster as we are going on with the rest of the match. Side trying to go in immediately right off the bat as this unpause goes away, but not able to collect any frags, so it's going to be difficult for them to work with down a player. Trip trying to collect some frags inside the house, but I get jumped by Banny. The counter initiation there, the Uber is popped off. Trading soldiers in the house, actually. Good play from him to make sure that that Trip can take someone out with his last breath, but it seems like positioning is going in Froyotech's favor. The spam is still late from Mal, but the point cap is not necessarily in their favor as Alpha is going to fall, and it seems like things are going to go the way of Froyotech finally as the rest of the team begins to go ahead and back up. But Aizen has to be careful. He's kind of in a corner. He's going to be A-okay at least for now. Glimmer very weak as well. Going to get saved by Sai, applying pressure to make sure he doesn't take too much in. But the flank from Banny, though, going through main, able to collect one, able to collect two, and that is Aizen dead. They were so distracted by the side house that they were unable to see the flank coming in from Banny, able to collect those two pivotal kills. So 3 people left alive for the side of Mal, 2 of them in the house, 1 of them rolling out, and it seems like things are going to stay in the way of Froyotech as Sai going in, not able to find anything. Froyotech's able to hold on to this point for a little bit longer.
Yeah, great kill there from Banny, finding the frag as we look now to see how is Mal going to want to reaggress. No way, this is another pause.
Yeah, they heard you were back and just They're like, oh, Godfather goes AFK, let's troll him. Let's be unpaused only during the 30 seconds where he's AFK.
My mom came in and wanted to know how late I'd be up, and I said, I don't know, it's a play-up match, and of course...
And now you really can't know, because of the pauses.
Now there's no way of telling. I can't, this is terrible. But looks like Banny, at this point, if I hit tab, is at 107, so... even though he made that play early on, it's a difficult situation to be in. Now the unpause though, get right back into it. Slem very weak, down to 6 health, looking for an error right now. The Uber's actually going to get popped in as Habib wants to go very deep, trying to pick up Sin, and he will with a nice pipe after some early damage. Glimmer also getting taken out. Blaze finding that kill on the flank, and it looks like there is the first pause, and as well as the second pause. So we've seen 2 of 3 so far caught up. It looks like Froyotech's opting to hold on the opposing concrete. Blaze going to go for a jump in, now jumping back, looking good though is the side of Froyotech as they hold on so far. Now Mal is going to be walking forward. Alpha getting a little bit of space onto point. There are some traps to contend with. Have to be careful of those. Cap time's there. Now the Uber's popped out. Benny and Eric both going to go down. Glimmer will find a pipe from Habib and go down himself. 3 down now as Blaze follows. And that will be the cap in for the side of Mal as they try to hold on a little bit longer here.
Yeah, successful fourth play from... Successful play and force coming from Froyo, but it appears that in a couple seconds here, we're going to see a substitution out. It appears like in a couple... within 90 seconds, Banny's ping gets so like unbearable that they have to get in a replacement player in Jay. But for now, he's able to collect the 1 frag on the side. We'll see if he has any last for Oz. He tries to chase down Chip, but Glimmer is the one creating distraction as well. So bombs coming from the red soldiers, unable to collect him, and Blaze is going to fall. So bit of a sticky situation for Froyotech to be in. They are able to actually, never mind. The HUD is not updated for me, and I didn't see that things were going in the other direction. Whoops, wrong colors. Able to collect that round. And now this is where the sub comes in. This is where Jay's in now.
Yes, Jay will be in here for this next fight. We'll have to see what the side of Mal is going to be able to do with this as we get onto this next mid. We're going to see some early spam across point, as always. Looking for some plays here early on from the side of Mal. I want to see them get pretty aggressive. They are down 3-0 on this map. They got to make something happen. Oh! Lots of damage on Habib early on, unable to secure the kill though, unfortunately, as this mid is being slow. Early on, we're going to see Soldier go down for the blue team. A nice flank play, Sai and Alpha together, picking up that kill. Here comes a bomb. Oh, the Ski is hitting 1 rocket. Can they find the second? No, the splash damage isn't enough. Glimmer will go down. Ski's getting pretty low.
Oh, the
but
pipes.
Not enough. Now, Aizen is getting low himself as Froyotech continues to be aggressive here. Trip getting healed up. We'll see maybe him going for a play on this flank. Got to contend with some traps as point and not yet secured from either side. Point pressure is in all around right now. Both Ubers are in place, and Karma getting very weak right now. The Uber's not popped out. Ski's eating some damage as well. Trip will now go down, as again, Uber's not popped out. Now, as I say that, Scout is used on across point. Glimmer will go down, unable to find the flash. Aizen pretty low himself right now in this post fight, as Sai goes down 3 down from the side of Mal. Froyotech will cap this point out, and it is not looking too fantastic right now for the side of Mal.
Yep, really nice play from the Froyotech scouts to be able to collect enough damage and kills to make that post Uber not even a thing that Mal had a chance of actually winning. Gonna be a little bit of a cross. Aizen taking a lot of damage. They appear on the side that Froyotech is forward holding and cross over to the other side, but have to be careful. Jay bombing in off the pre-existing damage, as well as Blaze. A nice distraction, able to collect Alpha on his giant bomb coming from the demo. Sin is in really deep, able to collect Blaze and Jay, but it's just soldiers down for the side of Froyo. So many resources expended. Sai trying to go in and collect extra damage and able to collect Eric's, which is good job from him. So now 3v3 scenario on the field. Sai getting piped. Have to be careful. He's going in very deep, but not able to collect the frag. Habib will live with 46 HP, eat an arrow, and will live to fight another day. Ubers might come into play soon. Slemnish is ready to run across the point if it is needed. Aizen doesn't have quite yet, but only a couple more seconds till he actually has. Spam Kijutsu goes off. Nice air shot onto Jay from Trip. It's gonna pop things off actually as Uber tries to come in, but oh, they didn't. Oh, they must have dropped someone or got forced. They were not using that to take initiative. So I guess that's technically a successful force play coming in for Froyotech. I thought that was gonna be just a straight up exchange. So now Skis has Uber, is gonna use it, trying to barrel across the point, trace down Alpha, able to collect that frag is Eric, and they continue to push their way onto Sin and collect that frag, and that is going to be 2 kills. Then Slem going a little bit too far though. Slem biting off a little bit more than he can chew. Glimmer is able to clean up that frag, so getting 2 for 1, you know, is not bad, able to hold on to the point, but have to be careful with this forward hold. You're down 1, but at least it's a scout of all classes.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty easy now for Mal to walk across and get presence in onto point, but you have to contend with the players behind. Glimmer's going to go down to Blaze. Trip getting
Sin.
very weak. Oh, Sin.
He just walks across the point.
Yeah, he walks. He just holds W, finds a nice pipe onto the medic, takes him out. 3 down right now from the side of Froyotech. Spawner's starting to come forward, but now Mal trying to pick up Habib, who's sitting in this flank house, pretty isolated right now. Oh no!
Slem with the play.
Just gets in for free. I mean, it duels a little bit, but he finds the med kill, and that will definitely put things back in Froyo's favor as they cap this point out one more time. Minute 30 on the clock, counting down. Pretty well, looking pretty good right now for Froyotech.
Yeah, Slem had the jukes and was able to make sure he lived long enough to put enough damage on to collect Aizen, so it's a med kill netted for the side of Froyo. They have slight ads, not going to really be anything to call home about, as we do have a dry push on our hands before Ubers come into play at all. Spam going across the point. Soldiers bombing in onto the flank, trying to collect damage onto Trip, able to collect that, but have to be careful because you've lost a soldier in turn. A lot of positioning though. Side trying to go in and collect Skis, and he's able to get onto him enough to be able to collect that frag. So a lot of people down. You have to be careful. Aizen is very weak. A failed bomb for Blaze, not able to collect that frag. Habib getting on the point is getting cleaned by Alpha, but I was gonna say Aizen was left alone, but Glimmer comes in rolling out, able to push Slemnish away out into the opposing house. Alpha chasing down, able to collect that frag. The last second, have to be careful though. Jay's chasing him a little bit, but is gonna be A-okay. So scout pick. Full Uber ad, Sai on Engineer. Okay, I think he was a misclick. He's back on Scout now. So, gonna see Froyotech make an attempt to force Aizen's Uber.
I almost wish we had seen the Engineer play. That'd be really funny. A mini sentry on point. Here it is. Yeah, it's gonna come right in, trying to force out these players. Sai will actually go down. Jay, too much for him to handle. He's getting pretty low, but now the re-aggression is going to start coming forward from the side of Froyotech. Actually, spoke too soon. Habib will go down. Alpha finding a nice frag. Slam picks him up. Now Sin going down as well. A nice air shot from Jay. Pretty warmed up already, it seems, as now Froyotech getting very aggressive, forcing Mal back onto the concrete. The cap's going to come back in under a minute for Froyotech, but still sitting above that mark for the side of Mal, as both teams just exchanging a little bit of spam here. Aizen very weak, actually. Needs a pipe now. Some aggression.
He lived!
Pieces jump.
He lived with 10 HP. I thought for sure that he was going to die. He's still alive. Or, oh, yeah, okay.
With the bomb
the Uber.
Trip. Oh,
he's able to collect the post Uber. Yeah, that's a very nice play.
The post is looking so nice right now for Mal. Trip comes in with a massive bomb, and now the frags are in favor of Mal. Actually, no, I spoke too soon. Trip and Glimmer both going to go down now. Trip. Excuse me, Sai finds Jay and Eric, so full team wipe from Froyo. Sai trying to escape right now. So far successful. Cap will go back in favor. 11 seconds on the clock, though, for Froyotech. So dire straits right now for Mal.
They got that pipe onto Aizen, but a little bit too greedy and not able to execute quite what they wanted. Habib got really, really low, and the Uber was decent and all, but overall it's going to be Red having the Uber ad running into the enemy team, able to collect Habib. Have to be careful though, they'll split up a little bit. The scouts are not on the same side as the Uber, so you need to make sure you're able to collect Skis. He's very low, and because they split up and went different directions, Skis is going to live. A lot of his teammates are going to be falling, but it's actually Mal that's falling in that regard. Doesn't seem like they were on the same page. All they knew that it was going to be Ab, but not in the direction that they were going to be going. That was not quite communicated, so Sai on the point will eventually maybe fall. Actually, it's gonna be Glimmer that's going in inside. It's gonna barrel, and never mind. I keep caster cursing myself. Almost escaped, but not quite. Trip trying to bomb in at the very last second to get any cap time, but that Uberad, it was just not executed well enough. They split to different sides of the map, and that's gonna be the nail in the coffin for Mal's upper bracket run. They are going to the lower bracket, and hats off to Froyotech for the victory, going into the upper bracket to play the winner of the series that we'll see on Thursday, GCI versus Rebirth.
We'll take a look at logs here, and stick around because there's always a chance for interviews, so don't go away. Much to talk about here. Jared, I'll let you take a first crack at logs here, though. GG's all around both teams.
Let's see, let me open them up.
Darn,
right off the
I
bat,
can take it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it just takes a second. Right off the bat, we see damage going slightly more, actually pretty sizable in favor of Froyotech, which makes sense because they had a pretty clean victory here. It can be a little bit awkward sometimes to, at least in the second half, to look at stats where you had to sub in a player. It's kind of hard to count for the two soldier stats combined together to one and place it next to your opponents or your teammates. But overall, a pretty solid performance out of them. Slem topping the charts once again. That he's showing that as the pattern for the Koth maps that have been played tonight, making sure that he's able to put out enough damage and clean up enough kills to put his team on top.
Yep, and now an opportunity here to pull up combined logs. I will take a look here. As you said, it takes a second to pull them up. Habib 423, Slem 394, so just great performances from both of those players from the side of Froyotech. I believe Slem will top frag as well, so definitely showing his skill here tonight. What are you seeing in these combined?
Definitely important to take a look at the medic deaths, which we haven't really pointed out up until now because I don't think there's been enough of a disparity between the two medics to really warrant really poking at her compared to other things that were happening in the match. But just looking at the 12 deaths compared to the 5 is pretty telling when it comes to how cleanly Froyotech are able to take away this match for the most part. If you're not able to live, you're not going to be able to get your team's Uber, and it's really important to make sure you get as many as possible, because if you're not able to execute all of them perfectly, you're definitely going to want as many as you possibly can.
Now an opportunity to look at combined for the whole thing, although not sure if this is going to be a little bit broken, again, with the players subbing in and out, but overall, I'm going to look at it again. Banny, despite the ping issues, 8 air shots total. Blaze hits 5, Trip hits 3, and a couple others hitting 2, but definitely a good performance, especially through the ping, doing some great work there. And yeah, GG's. Anything else you're looking at in these logs?
I mean, it's really only the scouts showing up for Mal, which makes sense, because if you're losing Koth pretty convincingly, spare maybe a round or two, and you're trying to look at stats, it's really only going to be the scouts that are the ones that have any form of pretty looking logs. Soldier's really sacrificial. If you're playing demo and your team is losing, it's really rough to live, and medic is pretty much the same regards. If every heal target you have is dying on you, you're going to have a lot of deaths racked up. So I guess it kind of makes sense to see Mal where they're at right now in terms of the overall logs. But you definitely don't see that on the same side, as we said before, on Froyotech, especially these scouts, Slem and Eric, definitely pulling off really big numbers for their team to, and kills and assists to make sure they come away victorious tonight.
Sounds like we have some interviews coming in. Benny, despite the ping issues, coming out on top with the win tonight, advancing to upper bracket finals. Congrats on the win. How are you feeling?
Oh, Nice. My team won? That's good. They wouldn't tell me what happened. But, yeah, I feel a bit annoyed by the internet issues, but overall happy that, we won. Pretty solid play throughout the night, I guess.
What was your thought about seeing what the three maps are? I think you talked about earlier in the season where you tried to use regular season as a way to make sure that you were well versed on whatever map that might come up when it came time for a playoff run, and especially because you're not just playing one map, you're potentially playing three for playoffs, depending on how things go. Were you comfortable with the how the cards kind of fell, and playing the two Koth maps and then maybe Sunshine as a decider?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the pick ban system, you can usually get it so that you're pretty comfortable with all the maps. Um, we're pretty solid on Koth. We practiced it plenty, and traditionally Mal wasn't that great on Koth. Last season, they like avoided, well, not Mal, I guess, but it was like a Morning Light or something. It's kind of a similar roster. They would avoid Koth like at all costs, and then ended up playing it in playoffs. And I feel like it's sort of the same thing that happened this season with Mal. Is I don't know, for some reason they bank it all on Koth in playoffs for some reason, but then doesn't necessarily go their way. Whatever.
So when it comes to the two Koth maps that were played tonight, obviously when it comes to, the comparison between Koth and 5CP, there's a big difference in the way that teams will play and kind of carry themselves and do certain strategies. But comparing two different Koth maps between Product and Bagel, did you guys feel like you changed your play very much to, make sure you adapted to the different geometry of the map, or do you think that it was pretty clear cut and dry how you guys were going to approach playing against Mal?
Well, the maps are very different, to be honest, in terms of playstyle. But the one thing that is consistent is just kind of how Habib and Slumnish and Skis coordinate. Usually, it's just kind of me. Uh, my play is like completely different between the two because on Viaduct, I rotate around a lot. On Bagel, I kind of just hold, one area. So it's definitely different in that regard, but otherwise pretty similar. I guess the cap time is different. You can, recap a lot faster. In general, I think Bagel is just a more in some ways it's safer for Soldier because you can kind of just chill and hold the doorway, but I don't know. It's at the same time it gives you a lot more opportunities to get behind, I think, because those flank routes are very well covered, like hidden, I mean, if you find the right openings. So that's the main thing for me that I was focusing on was just looking for those opportunities to get behind on Bagel. I ended up getting quite a few flanks onto like their medic doing that, but Viaduct that didn't really happen. So it's it's yeah, it's nice in that way, but at the same time, it's a lot less exciting to just stand there and watch it, I guess.
Now, Benny, obviously moving on to the upper bracket finals, you'll be facing the winner of the GCI versus Rebirth matchup, which is Thursday at 11 on this channel. I think Chaz and I are casting that. Should be a great one, so hopefully you can watch that. But if you had to choose between GCI and Rebirth to face in your next round, who would you prefer?
Well, we'd probably prefer to play Rebirth. I think that generally, uh, they're they're the weaker team, but they tend to step up in matches. In scrims, they are not the best, and we've been kind of rolling them in scrims. But in matches, whenever we face them, that was always their best performance, and they had a recent close match against Global Clan Ice as well. So they still have a chance, but I don't think that they're going to win. I think Global Clan Ice will win in a fairly convincing fashion, to be honest.
Well, we'll have to wait and see again Thursday at 11 on this channel, so definitely tune into that one. Should be a good matchup to watch. Jarrett, any last questions for Vanny before we wrap things up here tonight?
No, I think that's going to be it for me. I think it's time to move on to shoutouts. Banny, do you have any shoutouts to give while you're here?
Shout out to Jay for filling in when I had to step out, closing out that match strong. Nice job. Shout out to the rest of my team for playing well. Shout out to everyone who tuned in to watch. Shout out to you guys for casting, Dolphin on production, RGL for hosting the league, and yeah, I think that's about it.
Jarrett, what about you?
Something similar, definitely shout out to Dolphin and you for co-casting. Shout out to the viewers for watching and the players for playing, all that jazz. Speaking of jazz, shout out to him. He is casting on Thursday, like you said, so definitely anticipating that one.
Yeah, definitely very excited for that one. Shout out to Dolphin, as everyone will always say. Give him some hearts in chat. He does terrific work, especially around playoffs, stepping up his game, giving us a terrific production experience. Shout out to you, Jarrett, to all of the teams, all of the people watching. Definitely has been fun casting this season. I am excited for the rest of playoffs. Lots more to come. Again, Thursday at 11 is our second playoff match. Go follow my Twitter. I'm going to say that every time, but I think that will be it for us. This has been the first playoff match for Season 5, Froyotech beating MyAnimeList in 2 maps out of 3. My name's Godfather. I was joined by Jarrett with Dolphin Behind the Scenes. Have a great night.